There was a reason why God brought the truth to you and called you from the darkness to the light. Within your heart, He saw the longing that you had to search for Him and practice what is right. You promised Him in prayer to do His will. He helped you then, and He will help you still. With Jesus' blood He bought you, to God you now belong. So He will make you firm, and He will make you strong. He'll guide you and protect you as He has all along. Yes, He will make you firm, and He will make you strong. Jesus' blood He bought you, to God you now belong. So He will make you firm, and He will make you strong. He'll guide you and protect you as He God gave his own beloved Son in your behalf. On this account, he wants you to succeed. If he did not withhold the gift of his dear Son, then never doubt he'll give the strength you need. He won't forget the faith and love you've shown. He will not fail to care for all his own. With Jesus' blood he bought you, to God you now belong. So he will make you firm, and he will make you strong. He'll guide you and protect you as he has all along. Yes, he will make you firm, and he will make you strong. And he will make you strong.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, and I was feeling near as faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained and rode us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana. I was playing soft while Bobby sang the blues. Windshield wipers slapping time, I was holding Bobby's hand in mine. We sang every song that Javi knew. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, I mean nothing, honey, if it ain't free. No, no. Yeah, feeling good was easy, love, when he sang the blues. You know, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby, yeah. From the Kentucky coal mine to the California sun, hey, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Through all kinds of weather, through everything that we've done, your Bobby, baby, kept me from the whole world. One day up near Salinas, long, I let him slip away. He's looking for that home, and I hope he finds it. But I trade all of my tomorrows for one single yesterday, to be holding Bobby's body next to mine. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing, that's all that Bobby left me. But if feeling good was easy, loud when he sang the blues, hey, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby, yeah. La da da, la da da da, la da 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 da, la da da la da Bobby, yeah. La da 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 da, la da da da, la da da Bobby, yeah. La da da, la da da.
doesn't seem so long ago when my name you'd come to know, and it touched your heart, but you lost your way. Although you managed for a while, and some memories made you smile, it was in your heart to return one day. Welcome home, my friend. Your life can start again. Stay beneath my wings and know the lasting peace only I can bring. And I desire that you should know what to do to come back home, as a ray of sun on a weary heart. Now here I stand with open arms. I'm your shelter from the storm. You can feel the joy of a brand new start. Welcome home, my friend. Your life can start again. Stay beneath my wings and know the lasting peace only I can bring. Now you're home.
You can hear the songbirds singing, and you watch the clouds roll by. Then you're walking in the valley as the sun shines in a clear blue sky. You're welcoming your loved ones, and you can't believe your eyes. Yes, this earthly paradise was just around the corner. There's a house down in the valley and a house high on the hill. There is singing by the river as the water flows and turns the mill. The golden fields are waiting, let the harvesting begin. Once the world we're living in was just around the corner. It's great to share with friends who care the things that we looked forward to. Now every tear has disappeared. The world is young and life is new. There's the sound of happy voices and the scent of new mown hay. Now you're calling to your loved ones as you start another perfect day. Then we thank our God Jehovah for his tender loving care. Yes, the blessings we all share were just around the corner. And every day I smile and say, how good to see your happy face. 'Cause one once it seemed I only dreamed that you'd be in my warm embrace. Waiting round the corner is a world I long to see. It's a promise from Jehovah, it's a guaranteed reality. And it's hard to get downhearted when I think of what's in store. It's the day I'm waiting for, and it's just around the corner.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Oh, crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
You can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye, let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand neath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, say the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine, like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing. But while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, say the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never, never let you go. I love you oh so much. You can dance, go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks, if you're all alone, can he take you home? You must tell him no. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, say the last dance for me. Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, say the last dance for me. Say the last dance for me. Say the last dance for me.
Can you see with your mind's eye people's dwelling together? Sorrow has passed, peace at last, life without tears or pain. Sing out with joy of heart, you too can have a part. Live for the day when you'll say, life without end at last. In those days, all will be young, all at peace with Jehovah. Troubles are gone from now on, no need to weep or fear. Sing out with joy of heart, you too can have
This world would like to make me lonely, but I got my friends with me. We're trying hard to help others find friends eternally. And I would worry about me. Ooh, this world would bring me down. I'm feeling better.
All right. Well, in behalf of the Goransrud family, they, of course, would like to, first of all, express their thanks, their appreciation for all the condolences, the well wishes, the support they've received, not just today, but during the course of this very difficult week. No doubt today, as we know, this is one of the most difficult days for any family. We have a daughter, Max, son-in-law, Obo, a father, a wife, who is being forced to say goodbye to someone that they're not really ready to say goodbye to. But it's good that we could be together, that friends could be here, people who know Eva, that no doubt during this week the family could speak with other family members and just talk about Eva, right? Reminisce, share the memories, the fond memories they have with her. Just going through these pictures, it just brings a smile to our face, right, as we think about those times. Now, I was thinking, though, for Grant in particular, can you imagine the amount of memories and stories that Grant must have with Eva after 65 years of marriage? Now, those memories, no doubt, were made up of good times, but also tough times. But they were memories with his wife, right? Memories that included the joy of raising and having 5 children, all the joys that come with that, but also, no doubt, memories of heartache and disappointment and tears that were shed. But those memories would be cherished, would be valued, because they were produced or shared by a partner who was loyal and faithful for over 65 years. That is remarkable. And that says a lot about the type of people Grant and Eva are. You know, when I first found out how old Eva was recently, I never knew. I don't know about you, but I was shocked. Partly because Eva never acted her age, right? Eva was somebody we would truthfully describe as being young at heart. Even into her 90s, Eva still loved to dance, right? Despite how old she was, she never lost her love for painting, painting scenes of the countryside, painting scenes of flowers. She still loved going to the beach, spending hours out in the ocean. Eva loved life. But that's not really what makes her remarkable. That's not what sets her apart. What set her apart from most people today, sadly, is that Eva was someone who learned to love and respect her Creator, right? She learned to love the person who was responsible for the life she loved, that she appreciated. She learned to love and respect the one who was responsible for the beauty that she tried to capture in her paintings. That's really what set her apart. She showed that she felt a responsibility toward that God in the way she lived her life, trying to live a life that would honor Him. And we know that Eva wasn't shy about talking to people about her love for God. She certainly was outspoken when it came to her beliefs, all right? Wanting to tell others about the things that she had learned from the Bible that transformed her life, changed her life, that she that she felt gave her meaning and purpose in life. Well, it's those same Bible truths that she believed in that now can help us as we cope with the loss of loved ones. Now, if you have a Bible, you're certainly welcome to join me as we follow along. We're going to look at a couple of verses, but the first one we'll look at is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 26. And notice how the Bible describes death. It says there, and the last enemy, death, is to be brought to nothing. The Bible doesn't describe death as a friend of the human family. You ever thought about how no matter how much death strikes our family and friends, I mean, we've all lost loved ones. It happens as part of life. But we never get accustomed to it. No matter the circumstances, it's never welcomed. We're never happy about it. It's because the Bible says it's an enemy. It's unnatural. It's not something we're meant to experience. That's why it creates this internal turmoil that even though we know it's coming, we still struggle with. And that explains why we feel the way we do on days like today. Well, as we learn from Eva's situation, no matter how hard a person tries, no matter how strong their desire is to keep living, this enemy can't be defeated on our own. But you may have noticed from the verse, this enemy can be defeated. Right? The verse actually said that death will be brought to nothing. What does that mean? How will that help us? Well, we're going to take a look at a very comforting Bible account in the book of John that provides the answer to that. Again, if you're following along, you're welcome to join me at John chapter 11. John chapter 11. And just to set the stage here, Jesus has had a very close friend of his named Lazarus who has died. And now he is traveling to be with this family that he has befriended, that he's very close to. So he's traveling there along with his disciples. We'll pick up the reading in verse 11. It says, after he said these things, he added, Lazarus, our friend, has fallen asleep, but I am traveling there to awaken him. The disciples then said to him, Lord, if he's sleeping, he will get well. Jesus, however, had spoken about his death, but they imagined he was speaking about taking rest and sleep. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus has died. Jesus understood what death is. He described death or compared death to sleeping. Now, isn't it true when it comes to death, we kind of have a hard time wrapping our head around it, comprehending it. We've never experienced it, so we just have a hard time comprehending what is death really like. And truthfully, we've been told perhaps so many different things, contradictory things, as to the condition of the dead. But isn't it true? We do know what sleep is, right? We can relate to that. But we know that when we're in a deep sleep, we're not really aware of much at all, are we? We're not even aware of the passage of time. You could say we're in a state of unconsciousness. That's what Jesus compared death to, like a deep sleep. So while it's true the survivors are in pain as they mourn the loss of a loved one, we can find comfort in knowing that our loved ones who have died, they're not in pain. They're not feeling what we're feeling today. There's no despair. There's no this overwhelming sense of sadness and loneliness and not being with their family. They're simply unconscious, unaware, like being in a peaceful, deep sleep. Now, there's another reason, though, why Jesus likened death to sleep. when a person is sleeping, that means eventually he's going to wake up. Now, notice again, as the account continues, as he gets closer to the family, this conversation that takes place with Lazarus' sister, surviving sister, right? So we'll pick up the reading now in verse 17. It says, when Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now, Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary kept sitting at home. Martha then said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Yet even now I know that whatever you ask God for, God will give you." Jesus says to her, "Your brother will rise." Martha says to him, "I know he will rise in the resurrection on the last day." Martha was well aware of the Bible's promise that the dead could be resurrected, that they could be restored to life. She knew that. She had confidence in it. Jesus confirmed that belief, verified it. Verse 25, he says, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who exercises faith in me, even though he dies, will come to life." And then, sorry. Sure. Okay, go ahead. You can announce it. Go ahead.
Vehicle 64, ambulance is on, outside.
Okay. Number 64? Okay, we got somebody. All right, very good. Thank you. So, it may be difficult to believe, of course, someone coming back to life. But Jesus not only said this would happen, he actually went on to remove any doubt that this was possible by going and resurrecting his friend Lazarus. See, actually bringing this man who had been dead for 4 days back to life. So, as we can imagine, that day was much like today for this family. A day where the family is in grief, they're mourning, overwhelmed with sadness, and yet now it is turned into a day of rejoicing, right? Being overjoyed at now being reunited with this person they thought was gone forever, they thought had lost, right? Well, hopefully you can picture that scene. You can picture and envision yourself welcoming back your loved ones and the joy that will come from that. Well, this resurrection that the Bible promises, that it talks about, what life will these ones come back to? I mean, are they going to come back to a world like this with all the problems and the sicknesses and suffering and injustice, only to perhaps suffer and die again? Well, no. Revelation 21:4 makes this additional promise. It says, "He will wipe out every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away." The life that these ones will be resurrected to will be, you could say, a perfect life, without any pain, anything causing them suffering, without any mourning. See, never again will we have to, as family members, sit back helplessly as we watch a loved one succumb to illness or succumb to the terrible effects of old age. We'll never have to watch that again. Never be a part of that again. This resurrection hope that the Bible promises it doesn't fix everything. It's not going to take away, of course, the pain and the feelings of remorse or sadness that the family experiences today. But what it can do is it can first of all help us to begin to heal. The family can find comfort. We can find comfort in knowing that those who have died, they're not in any pain. Right? They're peacefully, as Jesus said, in a sleep-like condition. But we also find a great deal of comfort in knowing that there is a real hope. See, a hope that is guaranteed where these ones who have died, who live in God's memory, will be restored to life, which means they'll be reunited with their beloved family members. This hope of the resurrection, Eva believed in it. Eva was convinced of it. And what I found amazing is that even in these past few years where Eva's mind had begun to fade, memory wasn't the same because of old age and illness, her hope in the resurrection, her hope in living again, never faded, never left her. That faith was in her heart. That faith gave her courage. That faith gave her strength. That faith sustained her through the most difficult stage of her life. You know, you think about Eva, if she loved and appreciated this life with all its problems and uncertainties, if she loved this life as much as she did, can you imagine how much she will love perfect life in a paradise where both her mind and her body will remain young at heart for eternity, where we will begin to add to all the wonderful memories that we have and continue to add to that. So as the days, the weeks, the months go by, we appreciate that you're going to continue to struggle with various emotions as you cope with this loss. But we do want you to keep in mind this thought from 2 Corinthians chapter 1. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. It says, "Praise be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of tender mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our trials, so that we may be able to comfort others in any sort of trial with the comfort that we received from God." Those words are recorded, they're in print, so that you can read them whenever you need to. See, Jehovah wants you to know that he is fully aware of the suffering you're experiencing today, the sadness, but also to be assured that he will continue to comfort you so that you can endure this loss. So now it will be appropriate for us to say a word of prayer. Jehovah God, our loving Father in the heavens, it's of course with sad hearts that we come before you now as we are here to say goodbye to a sister and of course a very beloved family member and friend to many people. Jehovah, we know that death is one of the most painful experiences that we can have in life, and we lose a loved one. So we pray that you continue to be with the family and close friends as they mourn their loss. We pray, Jehovah, that you give them a measure of peace when they experience perhaps disquieting thoughts, that overwhelming sadness that may come at times. We pray, Jehovah, that you continue to comfort them with the scriptural hope that we have, that you will resurrect those who are in your memory, that we can hope to live in paradise-like conditions, free from the suffering and sadness that is so prevalent in today's world. Jehovah, we pray that as friends, we continue to provide the necessary support and comfort to the family as much as we can in the coming days and weeks ahead. So we leave the rest of this evening now in your care, again expressing our deepest gratitude and thanks for being that God of comfort that we can rely upon. Please accept our prayer now in the name of your Son, Christ Jesus. Amen. So now we have a video that the family has prepared, so you're welcome to enjoy for the next few minutes. All right?
Hello everyone. Teresa and I wanted to take this opportunity to express our grief and sadness and our condolences. We know that Grant and Maxine and all the friends and family have lost a dear loved one in Eva today. We take comfort from God's promise that soon He will swallow up death forever and remove the tears of those who have had to watch ones die. We were truly blessed to know Eva. And Teresa's known her even longer than I have, and she would like to share a few reasons why she felt so close and Eva was so special to her.
Hi everyone. It's been a long time since we've seen each other. So I probably never had a chance to tell Eva how much she influenced my life as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but there are a few things that she did that I paid attention to. She shone in my eyes as a beautiful example of Christian maturity, loyalty, expressing compassion, loving kindness, and tenderness to others. When they first moved to our area in the 70s, it was instantly known that she was fearless in the ministry. Absolutely fearless. She could adapt her presentation at the drop of a dime for her householders, and she never hesitated to speak up and give a witness. It was a perfect match because she loved to talk. But anyway, I recall she was never missing from the service arrangements. One specific example was the family must have been out camping. I don't know whether they just got back from Arizona or whether they were just camping, but Grant had pulled the family in the night before with the van and the big RV, and the next morning Eva jumped in, backed up, went up and around the corner to pick up her service partner, Sister Vita Didich, and apparently Vita climbed in and said, "How long be going in service, ya?" And Eva didn't know what she was talking about, and so Vita pointed to the trailer that Eva was hauling. And I think that she was so unnerved she could barely make it up and around the corner to the Kingdom Hall. Grant had to come and sort it all out. But anyway, that was a funny story about service. Also the fact that she was a nurse. She was always promoting healthful living. And when I first married Scott, I wanted him to meet some very precious people, Grant and Eva, so we drove down to go and see them. First thing Eva did is didn't skip a beat. Out came that juicer and 5 pounds of carrots, and before we know it, whether we wanted to or not, we were drinking carrot juice and glowing orange, feeling effervescent and vibrated, and smiled all the way home. And years later, when we got a chance to buy a juicer, we did. We copied her example. She loved Jehovah's creation. And a lot of people don't realize this, but I had keys for my home in Edmonton cut for my parents. They had keys. Auntie Frida and Uncle Art had keys. My grandparents had keys. And Eva had keys. Every now and then I would come home and Eva would be there. Sometimes Eva, Cindy, and Jasmine, and a car full of cats sleeping everywhere. And because usually they would be flying out. People had purchased the cats, and so it was a mobile cat house. Anyway, 2 other things that Eva did that impacted my life as a Jehovah's Witness, and that was long before I was dedicated and baptized and made the truth my own. I was a single parent, and Eva, with Grant's permission, held a very small baby shower for me, and cloth diapers, plastic pants and pins, everything for the baby's bassinet were there, and the gesture did not go unnoticed. It was very touching, very compassionate. And then again, when I was moving on and leaving the area, Grant and Eva had a going away party for me where a whole bunch of sisters were each had a ball of yarn, and whether they knit or crocheted, it was up to them. Everyone made one single square, and then one sister attached them all together. And that was my going away gift. And I can't deny that was the ugliest Afghan I have ever seen. But I hung on to that thing for 35 years until it was threadbare, because every stitch was so sentimental and the gesture was not wasted. They showed such love and tenderness that it's been part of my theocratic fiber to show equal tenderness to others. Anyway, all I know is that I look forward to having tea with Eva in paradise. And for all of those who still are grieving, take heart that each and every one of your tears is very precious to Jehovah. King David knew when he wrote Psalms 56 and 8.
56 and 8.
Psalms 56 and 8, where he begged, Jehovah, are you not collecting my tears in your skin bottle? So King David knew that our grief and our sorrow was noticed by our Heavenly Father, and so continue to trust. This is just temporary. We'll have our loved ones again shortly. Anyway, our condolences again to all of the friends and family, and may Jehovah be with you.
Hello. Hey, I'm Sandy, Eva's eldest daughter. My mom was an amazing person. I'm actually living here in China, and when I tell the Chinese that my mom died, their first question is, oh, I'm so sorry. Then they go, how old was she? I'm like, she was like 91. And they'll be like, oh, good. Because she lived a long life, and it really makes me realize that, she accomplished a lot. She lived to be 91. So she was an amazing woman. 91 years of an amazing life. She traveled. She had so many grandchildren, 5 children. She really lived life to the full. So I think that this is Cindy's way. It's a celebration of life. Mom celebrated life every day. As she got older, it got a little bit harder. But mostly she was a very happy person who loved to dance. She would feed everybody. I remember many times people, like when I was growing up, all the single guys knew somehow when my mom was making bread, and they would just show up. And she would make so much bread and cinnamon buns. Everybody would always come over. Just put a slab of butter on the table with the buns, and people would just eat. Everybody loved her. Everybody has Eva stories, we call them, and they're really very entertaining and good.
My grandma was an entertainer. I feel like Grandma Eva could have been an actress, a singer, a dancer. She could have been anything. And up until her age of 91, she still could have been an actress, a singer, and a dancer, which is what's just so amazing about her. She really touched everyone's lives, anyone she came across with. My friends back in Seattle are also mourning right now because they also loved Grandma so much. I just got a message from my friend this morning that in our home congregation in Seattle, that we haven't been part of that congregation for at least 6 years. They just announced tonight about Grandma's death, and I guess everyone was really shook by it. And it just goes to show that people really love Grandma Eva. all over the world, even people we haven't seen in many years, enough that they would announce her at a meeting. So I think that everyone can agree that our Grandma Eva is a very special person, and that so many are going to look forward to seeing her in the news system when we get to have her back and we get to hug her and kiss her and dance together again.
This is John, one of the grandkids. Just a couple things that stick out for me that I'm really going to miss Grandma. First, how awesome of a cook she was. We could have crepes, cinnamon buns, and of course pies. She was such an amazing cook, and it was always amazing how she could go out in the garden and come back and whip up a meal in a hurry. She was always so hospitable with people that came, and loved to cook and loved to entertain, and I'm really going to miss that. A couple stories, it's tough to narrow them down, but one of the ones I can think about is, as a teenager, I remember a bunch of us grandkids were out at the farm, and we had an idea we wanted to have a big water fight. And so Grandma figured, well, okay, before we have this water fight, we should all get together and say a prayer so things don't get out of hand. So she said this prayer, and then we went off, we did our water fight, and obviously her prayers weren't answered because the water fight got completely out of hand. I think a couple of us boys ended up almost in a fist fight, basically in a fist fight at the end. Got Grandma pretty riled up, but her intentions were the best, and so that's one memory. Another memory, and it's tough to narrow them down, but one I'm thinking of is when Justine and I were expecting our first child, Boone. When we found out, we were keeping it pretty quiet, pretty close to the vest. And at that time, Grandpa and Grandma were staying at my dad's farm in the summertime. And so it was getting into the fall or whatever. We just found out that we were pregnant, and I went out to visit them. And Justine was feeling sick, had morning sickness, so she couldn't come. So I came out the one week. I'm out there talking with them. They asked, "Where's Justine?" I said, "Oh, she's not feeling too good right now." "Oh, okay." So the next week, I came out and I was visiting them again, and Justine was still feeling sick, so she never came out. And so Grandpa and Grandma were asking, "So where's Justine?" I said, "Oh, she's still kind of feeling a bit sick." And Grandma looks at me just deadpan. She's like, "She's pregnant, isn't she?" And she caught me off guard, and I was like, "Yeah, she is." And it was just amazing how that motherly instinct, she knew right off the bat, Justine must have been pregnant. And I told her to keep it a secret, but apparently when she got down south, that was the first thing she had to say. So that was another memory that kind of stuck in my mind. And, we're going to miss Grandma so much. Can't wait to see her again one day. We just got to make sure that we're there. And she's left a huge void, but at the same time, we've got so many awesome memories of her. And I'll always cherish that, and she's always gonna have a special place in my heart and in my family's heart, because they're all gonna know about their grandma. If you want, you can maybe show the boys right now. They're just sitting on the couch. Okay. Sawyer's sleeping, our daughter's sleeping right now, but we're just so thankful to have had. I'm so thankful to have had 34 years of Grandma Eva in my life, and we can't wait to see her again.
So, trying to narrow down my favorite story or a really special experience I had with my grandma is so hard because there's so many, and I think any word or story I tell just won't quite capture how incredible of a human being she is and how thankful I am that she was my grandma. But one of the first experiences or memories, I guess, that I have with her is when we were on the old farm, and I was probably about 2 or 3, and she had this massive garden that I swear could feed like hundreds of people, and it probably did. And I just remember it went on forever. And one of my very first memories is me and her in the garden just planting for what felt like days. Just forever planting, and her letting me dig into the carrots and the peas and the raspberries and just eating them straight out of the garden. It was a wonderful experience, and it was something that I'll never forget. I'll miss her. I'll miss her a lot, but I'm so thankful to have these amazing memories that I'll forever keep close to my heart.
So I was fortunate enough to spend all my summers at my grandparents' farm. And as all of you know, my granny was eccentric, so I'm sure you can imagine just how much fun we had as kids out there. She would get our grandpa to dig these huge holes for mud baths. They would take us Saskatoon berry picking for hours. We would stay up all night reading if we wanted to. It was a really great time. But one of my favorite memories out there on the farm was one afternoon, my cousin and I, Jasmine, we were washing dishes in the kitchen, and there's a window above the sink, and my granny is out front and she is watering her flowers, and she decided to spray us through the window with her hose with the water. And we were laughing and she was laughing, and then we went back to doing our dishes. And then next thing we know, my grandma had walked around to the front door and she pulled the hose into the house and started spraying us with water in her own house. And we were laughing and we thought, this is war now. So we went chasing her, and she went straight to this set of bushes in front of the house, and she was running to the chicken coop. So we were following her, we were running after her, and we thought, where did she go? We couldn't find her. So we start heading back to the house, and then we had the idea that she was hiding in the outhouse. So we start knocking on the door, and she was in there, she was hiding in the outhouse. And she says, I got a broom and I'm not afraid to use it. And we were laughing, we were trying to get her to come out. Needless to say, my grandpa broke up the water fight and Granny didn't get wet. We only got wet, but it was a really great memory that I will cherish, because who can say that they had a water fight with their granny, let alone inside a house. So that was pretty fun. And I have to say, I had the best summers, and I will never forget those beautiful memories I have with her.
Hi, it's Mike and Max and JJ. Some of my great memories I have of Grandma is her taking us to the raspberry farms around Saskatoon and picking raspberries all day, and her incredible singing when we were little at the house in Hinton, always singing us to sleep. And of course, her French, which is probably the biggest reason why I went into French immersion and learned French, and now Max is learning French. Can you say something in French? Very good. We love you, Grandma. We're going to miss you, and we love you too, Grandpa. Take care, and we'll see you when you're back in Canada.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to send a little note to everybody in St. Kitts. My deepest condolences to Grandpa, Maxine, and Obo, and to everybody that really reached out and helped and give the love and support that Maxine and Obo needed, and Grandpa, obviously. I've heard nothing but good and kind and loving things that you've all done to help support them and the family in their time of need. It's a very sad day when you lose somebody that you love, never mind somebody that, you know, like a grandparent that obviously not only have you lost a mate and a mother, but you've lost a wealth of knowledge. And that's something that is to be said for that knowledge and the experience that Eva had, and that she shared in her own ways, is something that you can't buy. It's experience that had to be lived. And she did live a good, full life with lots of experience. So I just actually found this poem that I thought would be sweet to read. So I think I'll just read it. It says, "A glimpse into the new world. I woke up this morning and jumped out of bed. My knee didn't hurt, nor did my head. I moved at a pace not sluggish or slow. My heart was beating regular and my eyes were aglow. I could see at a distance with ocular aid. There were lions in the garden. I wasn't afraid. I ran to join them, could easily breathe. The air was so clear and the lions didn't leave. They didn't attack, nor did they show fear as they strolled by the river with elephants and deer. I needed no medication, tablets, or spray. My health was improved in so many ways. I looked in the water, I smiled and could see a full set of teeth staring straight back at me. A tree full of fruit hanging heavy on the bud. I could pluck it and eat it whenever I wanted. Lost ones now were living and well, returned from a place they once had fell. There were no more war, there was no more strife. The world was now full of love and new life. I realize now I have made it through. The new world is here, and so are you." So I thought that would bring a little bit of comfort, especially to you, Grandpa, knowing that you'll be able to have the opportunity to see Eva again. I'm sorry that you guys are going through this, Maxine. There's probably going to be many days where you're going to get down and low, but just remember that you have a lot of people that love you guys and support you guys, and just know that we're all here sending our love and our prayers to everyone over there. We just want to thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. I had a couple pictures that I sent along, and I hope you guys enjoy your celebration today of Eva, and remembering the good things, because she was full of mischief. She was funny. She was fun. She's a little bit mean, but nonetheless, she was kind, and like I said, had a wealth of knowledge. And I hope you guys have a really nice day. I love you all, and take care of each other, okay? Bye.
So my fondest memory of Grandma is also my oldest memory. I was a little girl, maybe not even in school yet, so 4 or 5, and we would go to the old farm in Denelda, and we would hike down the mountain, down to the coulee. And I remember it was a beautiful day, blue skies, not a cloud in sight, and my whole family was there. I know that my cousins must have been there. And for some reason, I was having a lot of anxiety, and even as a child, I was very anxious, and I felt really scared that there was going to be a tornado, even though there was not even a cloud in the sky or a storm coming. I was panicking about this and starting to cry. And I remember that my grandma, she looked down at me and she says, "You don't need to be afraid. And when you're afraid, you sing to Jehovah. You sing to Jehovah." And immediately she's like, "Let's all sing to Jehovah." And she started singing the song, Life Without End at Last. And I remember we all started singing, and I felt better right away. And I never forgot this memory. I always kept it with me, even as I grew up. So anytime I felt scared or had anxiety, I would sing this song to myself. So I had made a video for Grandma because I knew that she was by herself and that she was scared. So this is why I sang this song for Grandma, because I wanted to repay her and give her back this gift that she had given to me when I was little. And it's amazing how we're so small when we're a child and we grow up, and then when we get old, it's like we become a child again. But I know in the new system, she's going to be this beautiful woman who can sing and dance and act and make everyone happy and make everyone smile. And I know, like, she told me that when she's in paradise, she's going to sing and dance for Jehovah. That's her goal. So I know we all really look forward to seeing that, and that we get to be there with her. So I love Grandma so much, as we all do, and I love you all. And even though I can't be there right now to hug you in person, we are all here in heart together, and I will see you all soon. Love you, and I especially love you, Grandma. See you soon in paradise.
So Eva was an amazing woman. Everybody loved her. She came into a room, you just had to smile, because she always brought so much life with her, and every person that's met her has a story about her. She was just always so much fun to be around, and we're going to miss her terribly.
Hi everyone. Hi Mom. Hi Grandpa. Hi Obo. We really wish we could be there. This is one of the hardest things, having to watch this on video. We wish we could be there to hug you and to hold you, but at least we get to do that. So I really appreciate everyone who's there right now. I'm sure I know every one of you, and thanks for being there to support my family. I'm just going to read what I wrote because I didn't want to wing it. So I've been struggling to find the words and thoughts to fully express to everyone what my grandma meant to me. As memories of her flood my mind, tears flood my eyes, and the fact that she's gone from our lives just doesn't feel real. It sounds silly, but I always felt like she would be around forever. She was always so tough and strong. I even like to joke that she was like rawhide. So how could I ever possibly begin to prepare to live in a world without her loud, infectious laughter, her sharp wit, her unparalleled baking, and her warm, loving embrace? The truth is, I don't think I ever could have, but that day has come, and her loss feels devastating to our entire family. She was so much more to me than any one memory or story. She was a constant in my life from my birth until her passing. She helped raise me, shaping me into who I am today, and always loved me unconditionally. Over the past 7 years, I've watched her develop a special and unforgettable bond with my own children. And I can't express how grateful I am that they got to know her and love her like I do. She was more than just a grandmother. She was a piece of me that will be missing until we're reunited in the paradise that my granny so strongly believed in. I yearn for the day that I never have to say goodbye ever again. I know if she was here, she'd be catching my golden tears with a spoon, putting them in a jar for safekeeping, as she did when I was a little girl. The feeling of being loved by such an amazing woman is something I will never forget. She was more than this one life could offer, and knowing she'll wake up in the new world, young and healthy with us by her side, does bring me some peace. While my heart is broken, I take comfort knowing God is with me, helping me and my family through this unimaginable loss until we can be with her again. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. We love you. Bye.
Start talking.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lee. I'm Eva's ex-daughter-in-law, but I've never really thought of it that way. She's always been my mother-in-law, and she's always treated me like a daughter. We've always been like family. And I have a lot of stories I could tell, so I have to really narrow it down. I met Eva almost 40 years ago, and I always remember the first time I met her that within the first 15 minutes, she laughed, she cried, and she had my socks and shoes off, giving me a reflexology treatment within the first 15 minutes of meeting her. But that was just Eva. I really learned a lot about hospitality from her. That's where she taught me a lot in that respect. She was always, her door was always open to anybody. She was so willing to feed everyone and make them feel comfortable. And I always am indebted to her for that, because it was just a beautiful quality that she had. But I'd like to tell you a story. Like I said, I could tell so many, but the one I'm going to share is when we lived in Saskatoon, which was a fairly large city. And Eva and I, this was 30 years ago. And for those of you who don't know, I'm legally blind, so I don't drive. So Eva and I decided we're going to go to the mall. And it was a Thursday night. It was later. It was very dark. It was in the winter. And we set out in her Toyota Tercel. And she wasn't a very good driver. I think most of you knew that. But she couldn't drive too well. But anyway, so we're out. We're headed to the mall. And to get to the mall, you had to go down the main very busy street on the east side of Saskatoon, 8th Street. And unbeknownst to her and to me, they had taken out an intersection and put a traffic circle in. And she wasn't aware of this. It was dark. I can't see. So we're boogieing down, and she goes around this. She's like, oh. So we go around this traffic circle. And she wasn't really too sure how to operate this thing. And instead of taking the exit to go down the road and then go into the mall, she took an exit onto the oncoming highway. We were on a highway the wrong way. The lights were coming down. I screamed because I could at least see the lights. And she's like, oh, so she goes up the boulevard that was separating the two sides of the highway, boogies down there on the snowbank. Then she turns a 90-degree turn when the traffic slowed down, boots it across the highway, up an embankment, and we land in the parking lot of the mall. I have never been so scared in my life. I thought I was going to lose my life that night. She turns to me and says, and don't you ever tell anybody about this. Well, that lasted about 5 minutes after we got home. But that's just one of the crazy stories. I look so forward to seeing her in the resurrection. Able-bodied, it'll be very exciting because she was a little firecracker. I'm sending my love to everybody, and I hope everything goes well. Bye-bye.
Hi. I want to talk today about Eva. I met Eva when me and Mark moved out to Edmonton about 15 years ago. Mark had known Eva for many years through John and Karen, but I had just met her. So when we came out to the farm, Mark introduced me to her, and the first thing Eva said to me was, you have very nice teeth. I kind of knew from meeting her that time that she was a real spitfire. And I knew we were going to be friends. When we bought the property next to Karen and John's from them, we were the closest of neighbors. I really have such fond memories of walking over to their property in the evening or on a day off and just having tea or coffee with them and a good laugh. I really did feel like Eva was my surrogate grandma. And she made the best fruit pies. And if we had a meal together, she could put something together and it was delicious. Mind you, the kitchen took a couple hours to clean up after Eva was in there. She was like a whirlwind in the kitchen. And of course, I will always remember her amazing French crepes. The breakfasts we would have together and everybody would come over and enjoy them. They were the best. Age tends to make us slower, but not with Eva. She loved to move and she loved to dance. I have a funny story. When we were building our house, we were living in our fifth wheel. Well, one day Eva walked over from her property through the field. Grant didn't know where she went. She comes over to my place. She just wanted to visit, and we ended up putting some music on. We had a dance party. She was a spitfire, I'm telling you. At the time she had in St. Kitts dancing will go down in infamy, I'm sure, on the island. But I can't not say Eva was completely not eccentric. She was definitely eccentric. She was emotional. She was French. But Eva had a strong conviction. She loved Jehovah. Even with her emotional ups and downs, she witnessed to people. And you know what? She has 3 children that are in the truth, lots of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So she leaves behind those as her legacy, that they're still serving Jehovah. And I cannot wait to meet her again. Thank you.
Can you see with your mind's eye people dwelling together? Sorrow has passed, peace at last, life without tears or pain. Sing out with joy of heart, you too can have a part. Live for the day when you say life without end at last.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming to my mom's celebration of life. I really appreciate all the kind words we've been getting and the support. And this is I have a lot of memories of my mom. She was really a crazy character my whole life. And she always embarrassed me, but it was because she was wild and free. And, you know, when you're a kid and a teenager, you think, oh my goodness, you cringe. But as an adult, you look back and you appreciate how eccentric your mother was and how one of a kind she was. A lot of my stories are a little X-rated because my mom embarrassed me so much. But one of my cleaner stories is when they came to St. Kitts and they met Obo for the first time. And my mom was like fascinated with his hair. And she was like touching his hair and she came behind him. She goes, oh, your hair is so long, so long. And then she walked back into the kitchen and she got a pair of scissors, but kitchen scissors, not professional scissors, and tried to cut his hair. And he was like, heck no, Granny, you are not touching my hair. So that was pretty funny. And then because they didn't believe in, you know,
us being together without being married, they tried to pressure Obo to marry me that weekend while they were there. And so we laugh about that because Obo's like,
no.
I
said no to her.
I'm not ready.
I told the grandpa, wait, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have to take it slow.
Yeah.
So they wanted us to go on and get married. But as usual, that grandma and grandpa, they was like mother and father to me, right? And I wish grandpa long life, although his wife gone left him. But she's still here with us in our heart. And we all love her so much. I miss her nearly every day around the yard here. I pass around by the banana tree and I just start to bring tears out of my eyes because every time I look at her, it's like as if she was right there watching me. So it broke my heart to know that we lose somebody as precious as grandma, who everybody love, care for. And she cared for so many of us on this island. Everybody, like Kibo, Raleigh, Mikey, Rusty, and me myself, she fall in love with us. Sometimes Raleigh and Kiba and them come around and they will come around by her and they will just laugh, play with us. She will find something for them to eat. She always have something for somebody to eat, no matter who. But you know, she share a lot of love with us and a lot of grief that we're going through right now. I wish grandma all the best. She also tell you a little story about grandma. When night come, she think I will be sleeping when I'm in Canada, in the front room. And we always ask her, Grandma, you want something to eat? She will say to me, no.
I'm not hungry.
I'm not hungry.
Oh yeah, never hungry.
And then, like later in the night, I will lock out the light, lock out the television, and then I will play asleep.
Sleeping.
My wife and me here, but my wife will be sleeping. And grandma think everybody falls asleep and she'll just sneak up. And there is some cake. She always have cake.
I'd always buy her those big fat cakes, this big from cheesecake, from Costco. Big strawberry cheesecakes.
And then she'll creep up, come in and she'll come and watch me to see if I'm sleeping. And then she'll sneak with it and I'll say, Grandma, where you going? She'll say, oh my God, you're not sleeping? I thought you're sleeping. And she'll just like laugh and smile and she said, I just come for some cake. I said, I know that. And she'd hold like cake, what do you call it, donuts.
And I'm going to be honest, for that whole entire cake, I would ask at the end of it when it was almost done, I'd go, Grandpa, how many pieces did you have? And he'd go, oh, I think I had like 1 or 2. I maybe had 1 piece. Oba maybe had 1 piece. Granny would eat the whole cake because she loved her sweet stuff. She was really funny that way.
And she was a shopper. She liked to shop.
Oh boy. Forget about Second Glance. Anybody who's from Canada would know Granny and Second Glance, which is a secondhand store. She'd buy oodles and oodles of jewelry. And whenever she saw anybody selling jewelry, she had to buy up jewelry like crazy. Didn't matter. And she always goes, you can't stop me. It's my own money. You can't tell me what to buy. She was real independent.
Yeah, so we don't let her she wear because we know that she all and to enjoy life. Money in the option. It's family, friends. It's not about money.
And her favorite term was, what are you, a control freak?
Yeah, she always did that.
She always...
You want to control me?
Yeah,
Who's just control me? You can't control me.
She hated anybody telling her no.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you said no to her, you were then a control freak.
And she always wanted attention around everybody. But as Granny, she was a great dancer.
Oh, the dancing queen.
We love to dance with her.
She's a dancing queen, as you will see in her videos.
You'll see her videos that she always dancing. You know, and we appreciate it to see that a 91 years old woman like her can move, dance, even though older people over at Shipwreck, he ain't saying it's down on the beach, the strip. Granny will always get up and dance when all the other older folks just sitting, and she older than them. So tell me about Granny. Ain't she wonderful?
Yeah, full of life and vitality. And after I went through my teenage years and I became a young adult, and no matter what happened, even when I called her and I said, hey, I've got bad news, and she instinctively knew. I was 22 at the time, and I called her and I said, Mom, I was crying. I said, Mom, I've got bad news. And she goes, let me guess, you're pregnant. And I went, yes. And I was so heartbroken because I knew that it was out of wedlock and I felt bad. And she goes, life is always a blessing. I'm so happy. Come home. And she always opened the door for me to come home and do what was right. And she always helped me no matter what adversity I faced in my teenage years. And she always brought me back to God. And she always tried to show me the way to be a better Christian. And I'll never forget my mother as long as I live. And I know that she's going to be resurrected. And I know that she has served a full life serving God. And no matter what, she's in God's remembrance. So we're just waiting for her to see her again.
And may she rest in peace because we love her. She'll always be in our heart.
Always.
Always, no matter what. And you know, she died here in St. Kitts, so she's going to always be here around us.
Yeah. And she loved the ocean. She played in the ocean constantly. That was her happy spot, was the ocean. And there's many a time when she'd be at shipwreck floating in her tube, and I would hear from the bartenders, Maxine, your mom's drifting down the beach. Go get her.
She will in the water like, hey, hey, and then there's one go and get her.
And so we'd have to go rescue her, but she would just love it. She could float in the ocean for hours. So those are some of our best memories, and we'll always miss you, Mom, and you'll always be in my heart.
Yes, Grandma, we miss you very, 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 very much. And you
Not
know,
a day.
You'll always be in my heart. And yeah, as my wife saying, there's not a day gone past that may remember you. Because you share a lot of love with us. And we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Kissy lips. Kissy lips. So, tell me something.
Like what?
91?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, but you're healthy as a horse, right?
I'm healthy?
You know you're healthy. You just told me how healthy you are. Healthy as a horse. Oh, stop!
Wait.
A little bit. I mean, how old are you?
91, they said.
Yeah, just about, right? Oh, no, you are 91.
Yeah, I'm 91.
Yeah. Wow.
That's terrible.
Good evening again, everybody. On behalf of our island family, to Grandpa Grant, Maxine, Obo's family, all of Eva's family in Canada watching, her kids, grandkids. Wow, what an amazing woman. Just looking at the tributes, what a journey this lovely, beautiful soul has brought to us. We're so lucky in St. Kitts to have Grandma being part of our life for the last, some of us, 18 years. She was definitely one in a million. To us in St. Kitts, she was definitely the Betty White of St. Kitts. She was our rock star. She danced, she joked, she screamed at us. As we heard on the video, she sometimes wasn't as nice as she should have been, but again, she was an amazing, amazing woman. I used to always call her, because I used to always say, Grandma, I'm not Grandma to you, I'm Eva. I'll say, okay, Eva. No, call me Granny, it's okay. And we'd be having this back and forth all the time about what to call her. And then she'd say, you know what, you're the best friend Maxine has, because you're the only one that takes me out. And we used to have a date night because she loved to dance. And if people know me, I love music. And that's how we used to express. And we used to always go out, and then she'd say, make sure if Maxine's ready to go home, tell her you're going to take me home. I said, but Grandma, I can't take you home, you know. Yes, just pretend, I'll find my own way. I said, Granny, I'm not leaving you on the strip, I'm sorry. So we had this back and forth, and then we used to have some favorite spots, which back in the day we used to go to Vibes on a Wednesday for a live band that she really enjoyed. I had the pleasure last month having a dance with her at Shipwreck. I said, Granny, we're gonna have a dance. She's like, I don't want to dance. I'm not in the mood today. I said, Granny, come, let's have one dance. She said, well, I'm telling you now, this will be the last dance for me and you. So I said, okay, Granny. So we had a dance. And then the following week I've seen her and I said, Granny, how are you doing? Oh, Andrew, I'm ready. I'm ready. I said, you ready for a happy hour? No, I'm ready for paradise. I said, but Granny, look, we're in paradise. Look around you. She says, my work here is done and I need to go to the next paradise. I never understood the history of their paradise because I always call Snake, it's our paradise, and we're back and forth. She says, you'll never understand, but it's okay. And then I have one more really funny story where me and Granny at listening to the band one night. We joked. I said, Granny, do you want to have another drink? And she watched me. Are you trying to get me drunk? I said, no, Granny, but you've no drink. Would you like a pina colada? Is Maxine around? I said, it's okay. If you want a pina colada, I'll get you a pina colada. So she says, okay, I'll have one, but just one more. And then she says, you know, Andrew, you think you got me fooled, you know? She says, but I'm an intelligent woman. You might have all these people fooled. And she's pointing at Caroline and Jen and Maxine. And I said, but Granny, what did I do now? She says, I've seen how you've been watching me. I said, okay, Granny, sorry. She says, no, them girls said that you're gay. But I'm telling you now, I know you're not gay. But I'm a married man, and I'm a married woman, and I am respecting my husband, okay? So I'll have the drink, but that's it. And I was like, well, Granny, okay, Granny. So she actually convinced me now to think, oh, Lord, I'm checking out a 91-year-old woman. Help me. But she was really a beautiful soul. We're so blessed. Maxine, I'm so happy to be part of this. It's been a journey, but again, she was ready for her resting place. She is in paradise. Grandpa, you always have a piece of St. Kitts with you now. When you come next year, we'll be here for you guys. And again, it's just been an amazing journey, but from your island family, we really send our love and our passion to the family at home, and on safe flight next week. And although it's going to be hard next couple of months, remember you've had 91 amazing years of this woman. So Granny, dance on until we meet again.
What could I say about Grandma? Well, 18 years of my life I had no Grandma, Grandpa, Obo, Maxine, everybody. I remember the first time I met Grandma. She came and Brianna and Jasmine, she was like, Kibo, I see how you look at my granddaughters, you know. I hope you're not checking them out. I would say, Grandma, no, Grandma, they're like sisters to me. Yeah, you're sisters. I know you're looking at them, you know. I could see it in your eyes. I hope you're not checking them out. And I remember she always used to call me a stud muffin. She always used to harass Grant. Oh, Keith's my stud muffin. I want a stud. And I said, Grandma, you have Grant. No, I want a stud. Keith will come dance. And we will dance, celebrate. And just today, I had a trip for 4 years. And Maxine would always carry her Shipwreck. And I went Shipwreck today and I take the same trip and bought a drink. It's your favorite drink, rum and coke. And I sipped at the drink until it finished. And I went by myself and I just relaxed and just couldn't take it. Remember when Oba come to me and say, Grandma pass? Man, trust me, I give him some real coaching work. I was going through some tough time and I just walk off with my home and just leave him by the bar. But just to see, come here and share for the last It's great, and I now want to meet her again in paradise and dance with her again. Thanks everyone for coming, and I'm glad all you appreciate and trust me. As old Calypso say, sing, ring a diamond, or ring a diamond, tell me the love, the one you hug up last night, or ring a diamond. This day you're here, and this minute you're gone. But Grandma is still here, and she's not gone. She's already forgotten. And in our thoughts and in our memory and stuff like that. So Grand, live on and safe flight.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart, what lies ahead? Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Que sera, sera.
1, 2, 3.
The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I bowed my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I've always loved you and made you happy, and nothing else could come between. But now you've left me to love another. You have shattered all of my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
That was a nice short version. Do you want to pick it up?
That's all right.
It's good.
We got a short version. Might have that other verse on that other tape.